guys. Happy election day. Ask your family if they're planning to go vote. Um, okay, so if you are watching this, then you are probably a virtual student, which means that it's very possible that you have not seen Mad Max Fury Road. So I just want to preface all of this with do this to the best of your abilities, but obviously if you haven't seen the movie, there's only so much you can really do. I decided to prioritize being able to watch the movie and really talk about the movie. Um, and that just means that this is going to be kind of maybe not as useful of an assignment for you. Um, do it to the best of your abilities. But again, if you're a virtual student, it's not like I'm going to be grading you to the same extent that I would be grading an in-person student. So say we're looking at Mad Max as an allegory about the environment, yes, but also kind of the nature of power and the way that power and resources relate to one another. So we have the 2015 film Mad Max Fury Road is an environmental allegory and is meant to make a statement to the audience about the many facets of society, about many facets of society, including its priorities in relationship to commodities. So a commodity is essentially a resource, so just stuff that you have available that is used to gain either wealth or power. So a commodity that has, or a resource that has use value outside of just if it's food, you can eat it. This is more like if you have food, you can sell it, or if you're the only person who has food, you can gain power with it. So yeah, that's a commodity, and that's a word we're going to see a lot. So commodification is just when you turn something into a commodity. So for this first part, we're going to look at a section of Mad Max and a section of the article that we read on food stamps. And you will compare what it says, what these two quotes are, and what they reveal about the nature of power and commodities. What is the relationship of powerful people to resources? There's a lot of directions that you can go with this. So take your time, try to do some good analysis here. You could definitely watch a scene on YouTube that kind of more fully explains what this is, what this scene is about. Then we'll scroll down. Then we have commodities in the hands of the powerless, or the ways in which the powerless can become commodities. So commodities are resources that people either use to make money or maintain power. In each box, you will answer the question, what is being commodified, who is benefiting from it, and why is it being commodified? So this is, again, from one of those two articles from the Food Stamps Day. And then we have these three figures. All of these figures are being commodified in a certain way. And what I want you to think is what is being commodified, who is benefiting from it? And again, the full question is, why is it being commodified? So I'm going to actually update this. And why is it being commodified? Okay. And I'll update the full thing in just a second. Okay, so you want to tell me what's being commodified, who's benefiting from it, and why is it being commodified? So you will answer that question for all three of these figures. I can do an example here. So let's say that we have the wives, and if you've read about Mad Max Fury Road, then you might know that Mad Max is helping to get these wives who are kind of forced brides of the villain Immortan Joe. He's kind of the ruthless leader of this society. And he has all these wives who, they didn't volunteer to marry him. He just picked them and said, you're going to give birth to all of my war boys. So if we're thinking, what is being commodified here? Their bodies are being commodified, right? They are their use to him is to have babies, and those babies will allow him to stay in power. They're also commodified in a way for breast milk. So we see the ways in which they are turned from people into resources. So they're being commodified for that. Immortan Joe is benefiting from it, and why are they being commodified? In order to like preserve his power and give him like a larger army. That's like more or less the full point of their existence. And then we have these questions below. Who could this be meant to remind us of in the real world? So again, this is kind of like creative connection making. When I think of that, I kind of think about women who might not want to have children, but are forced by the laws of their state to carry a pregnancy to term. Just like, I know anytime a woman is viewed as someone whose like sole purpose is to have children, I know that's kind of the connection that this makes me think of. And so you'll do that for all three of these. Then finally, we get down to theme analysis. This movie has many themes. Write three statements. Write three statements of theme. Sorry. I clearly did not edit this one well enough. Write three statements of theme for this movie by responding to the following questions. What does this movie say about the relationship powerful people have to commodities? What does this movie have to say about the relationship powerless people have to commodities? And what does this movie say about how to solve the imbalance between these unequal groups? So, yeah, these are the things that I would like you to be thinking about. Again, do the best you can. I know if you haven't seen the movie, this can be kind of like taking shots in the dark, but sometimes that's a nice license to just think creatively. Hope you have a good time with it. Hope you are having a good Tuesday. Yeah, make sure your families go out and vote.